Welcome to the Amadeus Show Me How to Use Master Pricer Expert without a PNR and using the command page. Amadeus Master Pricer Expert is a shopping solution which provides you with the cheapest recommendation for your query. You can use Master Pricer Expert with or without an active PNR to search for available fares. The system returns alternative airline recommendations that you can use to either create a new booking or to replace an existing itinerary. You can request up to 6 segments, including up to 2 surface sectors, plus various options to describe the itinerary. By the end of this session, you'll have an understanding of the following: Master Pricer Expert without an existing PNR itinerary, pricing options, selecting to view various recommendations, book a recommendation, no TST, book a recommendation and create a TST, and how to find help. Where to get information. eSupport Center, you can download the Amadeus Master Pricer Quick Card and tips for utilizing Amadeus Master Pricer Expert. HEFXD will give you all the help screens. MS295 will display the options and how to apply them. Minimum entry requirements where there is no PNR are your journey points, travel dates. Default is 1 adult passenger, any airline, cheapest available fares inclusive of taxes. Let's have a look at an example. We have 1 adult with no preferences. FXD is the transaction code, Sydney our board point, /D and our departure date. Destination, in this case Singapore, /D departure date from Singapore, and final destination Sydney. Let's try this one. The system returns 33 groups and up to 50 recommendations in value from $632 to $1,670. The cheapest fare is returned first, and like fares with the same dollar value are grouped together. You may need to move down. There are 2 recommendations in group 6. Let's have a look at them. FXS6. The entries to book your PNR at the bottom of each recommendation. FXZ to book, FXU to book and create a TST. Our recommendation is successfully booked. However, as we have no name field, no TST is stored. Let's add a name field and then we can price. Don't forget to save your PNR as normal. We will ignore this one and go on to another option. In this example, we have 2 passengers departing Auckland 23 March for Melbourne, and we have a surface sector to Sydney, departing Sydney 30 March back to Auckland and requesting cabin type C for business class for the entire itinerary. The options to proceed are at the bottom of each recommendation. FXZ1 to book the cheapest recommendation in Group 1, and FXU1 to book and create a TST. Let's try FXU1. As we have no names, we will not get a TST. Let's go back and look at our list of fares, MPFXD. Let's look at another example. Departing Sydney, 1 March for Frankfurt, returning 15 March back to Sydney for 1 adult, 1 infant, and airline preference BA and SQ. The total price is for both passengers, however, individual prices are displayed with the total underneath. Let's look at another itinerary. 2 passengers this time, departing Sydney 1 March for Hong Kong, returning 15 March to Sydney, 1 adult, 1 child, 1 infant, and excluding airlines CX and QF. Note the total price is for all 3 passenger types, adult, child and infant, and is inclusive of tax. The next example is going to apply an airline preference to a sector only. Departing JFK for Miami using airline UA for that sector only, returning out of Miami to JFK any carrier. Let's book the first option in Group 7. As you can see, it's US dollars converted to Australian. Let's ignore this PNR and look at one more example. This time, our customer is travelling from Brisbane to Nandi, returning to Brisbane with a price to beat of $850. You have to match the opposition's quote. Fares returned are from $674 to $847.62. So we can match and beat the $850 opposition quote. Let's book the cheapest option, FXZ1, and of course no name, no TST. Let's ignore this PNR and look at one more example. This next example, our customer wishes to travel from Sydney on the 1st of May to London, returning 30 May to Sydney with the request for One World carriers only. Let's ignore this booking and move on to another example. If I put the name field in first, it makes life simpler. We're going back to our Fiji fare quote. This time we will book and create a TST using the FXU entry. Straight after pricing and selection, we can then look at the fare quote notes, routing, or booking conditions. Let's look at the fare notes. Our TST will be stored this time when we complete the PNR. Don't forget to save it. Let's refresh. FXD Master Pricer Expert Transaction Code, FXS selecting to view recommendations in a group, FXZ book a recommendation no TST, and FXU book a recommendation and create a TST. Just remember to add the names first. Thank you for your attention.